Tempo preschool video offers the perfect entertainment for the under fives. There's tales with unexpected twists and lots of fun in Not Now Bernard and Other Stories by David McKee. And I Want a Cat and Other Stories by Tony Ross includes the best-selling toddler classic I Want My Potty and Super Dooper Jezabel. There's lots of fun for all the family. Sing along to all your favorite rhymes with Tempo's very own golden treasury of nursery rhymes. There's lots of favorite friends in the 6 stories featured on the Mr. Men and Little Miss video. Meet the Junglies and join Tyrone Tiger on his first day at school. Don't miss the world's most lovable puppy and his friends in Spot's first video and The Adventures of Spot. And learning can also be fun with Spot's alphabet and Spot Learns to Count, introducing basic educational concepts that any child can enjoy. Young Tom Cottage has difficulty coming to terms with his alphabet and counting, but Postman Pat is always ready to lend a hand. A timeless favorite with all children are the Paddington Bear stories, written by Michael Bond and narrated by Sir Michael Horton. Bump the baby elephant features in these gentle stories, delightfully narrated by Simon Cadell. And perfect for pre-bedtime viewing are the Tempo range of classic tales. The tales of Aesop are brought to life with delightful puppet animation and humorously narrated by Tom Baker. And Tell Me a Story includes well-loved stories told by Jan Francis. There's something for everyone with Tempo Video.
Sings the sweetest things, but the elephant isn't quite as eloquent because the sound gets tangled round in his trunkety trunk. But every elephant, I suppose, learns to cope with his nose in his element as he goes. Trump, trump, trumpety trump. Birdie skips and never trumps, but the elephant isn't quite as elegant because his feet are not so neat. Clump, clump, clumpity clump. But every elephant as he grows tries to keep on his toes in his element as he goes. Bump, bump, bumpity bump, bump.
Bump the elephant. Bump plays a trick. When the Wizard was up to his tricks, it meant trouble for everyone. First, he teased Macduff and made him drop his rubber bone. Then he pedalled round and round little Bun's hole until she wouldn't come out. As for Munch, he just hid in his shell until Whizzer went away. But worst of all was how Whizzer teased poor Bump. He went this way and that, yet wherever Bump stepped, there was naughty Whizzer. "Oh, Whizzer, you are a pest," said Bump, as he toppled against the squirrel's tree. "Look what Whizzer made me do." "Never mind," whistled Birdie. "It wasn't your fault," called Mrs. Squirrel. "Something should be done about that mouse. We'll soon have no acorns left." Everyone agreed. But how could they stop Whizzer being so naughty? "I could bark and growl at him," suggested Macduff. "But you might make Whizzer fall off his tricycle," said Bump. "We don't want to hurt him," agreed little Bun. "I know," said Birdie. "Let's hide so he can't find us." "I'll hide in my shell," said Munch. "I'll hide in the bushes," said Macduff. "He'll never find me here." "And we can hide in one of our holes," said Big Bun. "But what about me?" asked Bump. Yes, it's harder for you because you're so big, said Birdie. Now, where can you hide? Bump went behind a tree, only his big ears stood out. He went behind the bush where Macduff was hiding, but his head showed over the top. Then Birdie had another idea. Lie down, she said, and whistled to her brothers and sisters. Will you help me hide Bump? Before long, Bump was covered from head to toe with dry leaves until only his trunk showed. Then Birdie gave him a leafy twig to hold, which made it look like a small tree. Don't forget, she told Bump, you must keep very still. Sure enough, back came Whizzer to play some more tricks. Where has everyone gone? He squeaked. Then Whizzer spotted the small hill with the tree on top. If I climb up there, I'm sure to see someone, he thought. So he hopped from his tricycle and scrambled to the top. Not even Bump, he sighed, after looking all round. But no sooner had Whizzer spoken than something strange happened. The hill began to tremble. Eek, what's going on? He squealed, which made the hill tremble more than ever. Then it giggled and actually spoke. Oh, stop it, you're tickling. It's you, Bump, gasped Whizzer. You did give me a fright. It serves you right for playing tricks on other people, whistled Birdie. I'll try not to be naughty, said Whizzer, but it will be very hard. Bump learns to fly. I wish I could fly, Birdie, called Bump. It must be wonderful. It is, she whistled. And just to show her special friend how wonderful, she zoomed right up into the sky. Birdie was about to show off some more when she saw Bump waving his arms. What's the matter? She asked. Nothing, he said. Then why were you waving your arms like that? I was trying to fly like you, said Bump. Can you teach me, Birdie? I'm not sure elephants are supposed to fly, said Birdie, but I'll try. You must flap your arms much faster, like this. Am I flying yet? Panted Bump, flapping his arms as hard as he possibly could. Why is Bump waving his arms like that? Asked Big Bun. Has he got a pain? Asked Little Bun. No, said Birdie. He's learning to fly. Perhaps he should try and hop as well, suggested Big Bun. That's a good idea, said Birdie. Go on, Bump. Try hopping and flapping. But however hard he tried, Bump couldn't fly. When Macduff saw Bump hopping and flapping, he began to bark. It's all right, Macduff, whistled Birdie. Nobody's hurting Bump. He's learning to fly. Bump should run hard, then hop and flap, whuffed Macduff. Yes, try that, Bump, agreed Birdie. Off went Bump as fast as he could go. He hopped his biggest hop, closed his eyes, and flapped with all his might, which is why he didn't see Batty hanging from a branch. What is Bump doing? Asked Batty. He's learning to fly, said Birdie, but he doesn't seem to be able to flap hard enough. Why doesn't Bump flap his big ears as well? Suggested Batty. Off went Bump yet again, running, hopping, this time flapping his arms and his ears as hard as he possibly could. Then, just as Bump was about to fly, along came Whizzer to spoil everything. Sorry, Bump, he squeaked, but why were you flapping your arms and ears like that? Birdie's teaching me to fly, said Bump. If you climbed up on that tree stump and flapped before you jumped, I'm sure you'd fly. So Bump climbed onto the tree stump, flapped his arms and ears, and jumped. Did I fly? He asked. Well, perhaps a little bit, chirped Birdie. But you still need lots of practice. Flying makes you very tired, said Bump with a yawn. Shall we go for a walk? Said Birdie. But Bump was fast asleep. He did try very hard, whispered Birdie, but Bump is too big to fly. And as his friends crept away, Bump had a lovely dream. He dreamt he was flying through the clouds with Birdie.
Come on, Vicar, said Mr. Bobbin. Hurry up.
But I've got a lot of things I should be doing, said the vicar.
Oh, it won't take a minute,
said Mr. Bobbin impatiently.
The dabbles are setting it up now. Come on.
But, oh dear, said the vicar.
Dad,
said Gary.
are you sure that's safe?
It's perfectly safe, said Harry.
Oh, you must have nudged it, said Harry. Look, you do your job and I'll do mine.
What do you mean?
said Gary.
You haven't got the screen up yet, said Harry.
Eh?
said Gary.
That's funny.
Where did you put Mr. Bobbin's film?
said Mr. Dabble.
Here it is.
said Gary. said Harry.
Oh,
said Mr. Bobbin.
haven't you started setting up yet? We've had one or two snags,
said Harry.
I'll come back later.
said the vicar.
No,
said Harry.
we'll have it going in next to no time.
Well, the sooner we start, the sooner we'll finish, said the vicar. Shall I put the screen up?
Eh?
said Gary.
It's ready now,
said Harry.
Put the lights out, please, Gary.
Whoa!
said Gary.
You clumsy noodle.
said Harry.
You pull the plug out.
I'm sorry, everybody.
said Gary.
I was trying to find my way to a seat.
We better sitting down.
said Harry.
It'll keep you out of mischief. I'll attend to the lights.
said the vicar. I don't like to criticise, but it seems to be the wrong way up.
I'll fix it.
said Gary.
Stop the film, Dad.
Well, that doesn't seem to have made any difference, said the vicar.
Well, of course it hasn't.
said Harry.
I'll have to turn the projector upside down.
Oh, it's going backwards now, said the vicar.
Oh, bother,
said Harry.
I must have put it in wrong.
Perhaps I'll come back when it's sorted out, said the vicar. Oh, well, said the vicar. I suppose I can stay for a minute or two longer.
Ready again,
said Harry.
Oh, that's the lighthouse,
said Mr. Bobbin excitedly.
Oh, and that's Sponge. This is me. That's Sponge. That's a big ship. No, that's Sponge. And look at this. 5 minutes from the hotel. It's Sponge. Seawall, Sponge. Oh, there's Sponge. Oh, there's Sponge and... oh, it's Sponge.
Dad,
said Gary.
there's something crawling all over me.
Be quiet and watch the film,
said Harry.
But Dad,
Said Gary.
I can't move.
oh dear,
Said Harry.
what's he done now? Well, he can't have put the film on properly.
Said Mr. Bobbin.
I'll get it sorted out in just a moment.
Said Harry.
Oh, Gary, stop that reel.
Fascinating, said the vicar. Most enjoyable. But I really must go now. Oh, hello, Sponge.
Oh, that's wonderful, Sponge,
Said Mr. Bobbin.
Now we can watch the other 9 reels. Sit down, Vicky.
Oh dear, thought the vicar.
Are you all right, Gary?
Asked Mr. Bobbin.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Bobbin.
Said Gary.
Why didn't you put the brake on?
Asked Harry Dabble.
I did, Dad.
Said Gary.
What's all this, then?
Asked Mr. Bobbin.
We've just got it from Miss Armitage up at the hall.
Said Harry.
We're going to do it up and sell it.
Said Gary.
Well, that's a coincidence.
Said Mr. Bobbin.
I was thinking about buying a car myself one of these fine days.
What a pity this one needs so much doing to it. Oh!
Said Gary.
What Gary means
Said Mr. Dabble.
is that it may require 1 or 2 minor adjustments to bring it to peak performance. Well, why were you towing it then?
Asked Mr. Bobbin suspiciously.
Oh, just to save petroleum.
Said Harry.
Look at this, Mr. Bobbin.
Said Harry hurriedly.
Now, don't see upholstery like this nowadays. Gary, let Mr. Bobbin have a proper look. It looks a bit worn to me.
Said Mr. Bobbin.
It's just well run in,
Said Harry.
and it's very comfortable. Why don't you sit in it and try it? Oh, that's one of those minor adjustments I mentioned.
Said Harry.
Well, it is comfortable.
Said Mr. Bobbin.
Very comfortable indeed.
Said Mr. Bobbin.
Oh, the steering wheel's fully adjustable, as you can see.
Said Harry.
Are you sure this car's safe?
Asked Mr. Bobbin.
Of course it is.
Said Harry.
Would you like a trial drive?
Said Mr. Bobbin.
Gary,
Said Mr. Dabble.
will you give it a turn with the starting handle, please?
Righty-o, Dad.
Said Gary.
Anything you say.
It'll be the carburetor.
Said Harry.
Wow, 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 wow.
Said Gary.
Wow.
Said Harry.
I think it needs a slight push.
Said Harry.
I knew I wouldn't sit down for long.
Said Gary.
Oh, man.
Hey, ow! Me chin.
Said Gary.
Ooh, I'm fed up with this silly old car.
Get in, Gary.
said Mr. Bobbin.
I can't seem to get it into gear.
Try reverse,
said Harry.
I don't think this car's quite my cup of tea,
said Mr. Bobbin.
not even for 50p.
Said Gary.
Only 50p?
Said Mr. Bobbin.
Well, I could use the bits, I suppose.
Thank you, said Harry.
Hello, Sponge,
said Mr. Bobbin.
Look what I've just bought.
Aye, that's not fair,
said Harry.
Don't be mean, Dad.
Said Gary.
After all, Miss Armitage did pay us to tow it away.
One day, Paddington was given an invitation card to watch a television quiz show called Sage of Britain. He'd never actually seen the programme before, as it usually came on after he'd gone to bed, so he felt very excited when he arrived at the television studios. In fact, he was so excited, he soon got lost, which was how he came to go into the studio through the wrong door, long after the programme had started. Shh! Quiet! This way. You're on next. And to his surprise, before he knew what was happening, someone hung an object round his neck and then pushed him towards a lighted area of the studio. Good evening. I'm Lionel Pear, the question master. How do you do? 1, 2, 3, testing. Oh! What did you do that for? You nearly blew my head off. I'm sorry, Mr. Pear. I thought perhaps you couldn't hear very well. I can hear you perfectly well, thank you. I wear this so that the producer can speak to me. Now, I take it you know the rules of the game? I don't think so, Mr. Pear, said Paddington. Well, each contestant has 2 goes, one at his favourite subject, and then there's what we call a free-for-all. 2 bites of the cherry, as it were. Paddington licked his lips. I like cherries, he announced. Yes. Well, now, what is your special interest? Paddington considered the matter for a moment. Marmalade sandwiches, he said at last. Marmalade sandwiches? I don't think we have any questions on those. You don't have any questions on marmalade sandwiches? You could ask me where you get one at this time of night. Well, where can you get one at this time of night? I don't know either, said Paddington. I was hoping you would tell me, Mr. Pear. Lionel Pear glared across at Paddington. Have you anything else to say before we carry on? He asked. May I have my points, please? Said Paddington. Your points? What points? Well, you asked me about my special interest, and I said marmalade sandwiches, so I got that right. That's 10 points. Then you didn't know where I could buy any, so you lose 10. That's another 10 for me. Lionel Pear gazed at Paddington as if in a dream. He took a quick look at the studio clock and decided to plunge into the free-for-all section without further ado. Right, you have 2 minutes to tell everyone at home what changes you would make if you were suddenly put in charge of television. Paddington settled back in his chair. He was very keen on television, and he had decided views on the subject. To start with, he said, I would have more programs on food. I'd have a special series on marmalade and another one on cocoa. A series on cocoa. You can't have a whole series on cocoa. I could, said Paddington. I'd send an expedition to South America to show where it comes from, and I'd have another program all about getting the stains out. And in the winter, I'd have a program about snowballs and another one about how to make snowmen. It's a bit difficult with paws. Then I'd have special programs for bears. Bears. Don't you think that's something of a minority program? Paddington gave the question master a hard stare. Not, he said firmly, if you happen to be another bear. And who would look after all these programs, after all? It was Paddington's turn to look surprised. The children's department, of course, he replied. They always make very good programs. What's that? Huh? Good gracious, really? Bear, you've jammed our switchboard. I've jammed your switchboard, but I haven't been near it. Not you, personally. The viewers. It seems they like your ideas so much. They've all been phoning in. Not only that, but by overwhelming request, they've asked me to name you Sage of Britain. What have you got to say to that? Thank you very much, Mr. Pear, said Paddington. I don't think I've ever been a sage before. Perhaps I could have my cherry now, please? One day, Mr. Brown decided to take everyone to the theatre as a treat, and he reserved a box so that he could get them all in. Paddington had never been to the theatre before, and he sniffed the air excitedly as he hurried on ahead of the others. It had a nice, warm smell, and everyone seemed very friendly and helpful. Would you like a programme, sir? Yes, please, said Paddington. I'll have 6, if I may. Thank you, sir. And will you be having coffee in the interval? Paddington licked his lips. Yes, please, he announced. I'll have 6 of those, too. Very good, sir. That'll be £5. £5? Help! Oh, dear, Paddington, I think you've lost your marmalade sandwich. Look. Must you bring sandwiches to the theatre? Asked Mr. Brown. You've only just had supper. It's all right, Mr. Brown. I've got some more in my suitcase. That, said Mr. Brown, is not what I meant. But Mr. Brown's words went unheeded as the curtain rose and they settled back to enjoy the show. The evening was a tribute to Cecily Bloom, the famous actor, who was performing pieces from his repertoire. The first item on the programme was a piece of Victorian melodrama in which he played the villain. As far as Paddington could make out, the luckless heroine seemed to spend most of her time either tied to a railway line in the face of the 6:20 from Euston, or about to part company with herself in the local sawmill. He gave Cecily several hard stares through his opera glasses. But either he was too far away, or something happened as they passed through the lens, for they had little or no effect. Cecily was adamant, and despite the snow and the pleas from the heroine, it was clear from the expression on his face as the curtain came down that he felt he had won the day. Oh, dear, said Mrs. Brown, I do hope the second half is a bit more cheerful. I hope he's a bit better at remembering his lines, said Mr. Brown. He was making half of that up. It's readings from Shakespeare next. He's a famous playwright. Oh, gosh, where's Paddington got to? Perhaps he's gone for an ice cream, said Jonathan. Perhaps, said Mrs. Bird, and then again, perhaps not. Knowing that bear, it's anyone's guess where he might be. Cecily Bloom looked at Paddington in amazement. Would you mind repeating that, bear? He boomed. I've come to tell you to take back your daughter, exclaimed Paddington. It's snowing hard and she hasn't got a duffel coat. If you like, I expect Mr. and Mrs. Brown would take her in. I expect... Having delivered his ultimatum, Paddington waited for the storm to break. But to his surprise, Cecily, who had been looking very gloomy until then, suddenly brightened. My dear bear, this is the nicest thing that's happened to me in years. The fact that you actually believe what you've just seen. To tell you the truth, I've been having a little trouble with my lines. The prompter's been taken ill, and I suppose you wouldn't like to do me a favor, would you? Mr. Brown gazed at the slip of paper the usherette had given him. I have been given a very important job, signed Paddington. What can it mean? But the Browns didn't have long to wait for an answer. As the curtain went up, Cecilia began his famous recital from Hamlet. To be... Or not to be, Cecilia, called Paddington. Thank you, Bear. To be or not to be, Cecily, that is the question. No, it isn't, whispered Mr. Brown. The question is, how does Paddington get away with it? That, said Mrs. Bird, is something even Shakespeare would find hard to answer. One morning, the Browns were in the middle of breakfast when Mrs. Brown suddenly let out a cry. Good gracious, I've just remembered it's Mr. Curry's birthday today. Mr. Curry's birthday? I didn't know Mr. Curry had birthdays. Everyone has birthdays, said Judy. Even Mr. Curry. I don't suppose the postman will be overworked. I can't imagine there being many cards. The Browns fell silent at the thought. It's really rather sad, said Mrs. Brown. I know he brings it on himself by being so bad-tempered, but we ought to do something for him. Perhaps, said Paddington hopefully, I could bake him a special birthday cake. Not in my kitchen oven, you don't, said Mrs. Bird. It's only just been cleaned. You can have some ingredients, if you like, but no cooking. Thank you very much, Mrs. Bird, said Paddington doubtfully. It was very nice being offered some ingredients, but he couldn't picture Mr. Curry being very excited by a cold cake. On the other hand, an idea began to form in the back of his mind, and the more he thought about it, the more excited he became, until by the time Mrs. Bird went out shopping later that morning, he could hardly contain himself. Mr. Brown had an old field oven in his garage. It had once been used for picnics, but that was long ago. Now, it was more of a toolbox than an oven. All the same, Paddington felt that given enough ingredients, he would be able to make a very good cake indeed. But if mixing a cake and getting it into the oven had its problems, getting it out again was sometimes even more difficult. And with a large bowl of icing sugar waiting to be used up, he wasn't quite sure what he was going to do. Mr. Curry gazed down at the cake Paddington had made for him. "It's very kind of you, Bear," he said. "Very kind indeed." "It's untouched by hand," said Paddington eagerly. "I did it all by paw." Yes. Well, I didn't put any candles on top in case the heat damaged the ceiling." "What's that? What do you mean by that, Bear? Are you suggesting—" "Perhaps you'd like to cut the cake, Mr. Curry." Yeah, all right. But special occasions demand special tools. I brought my best knife along." "Oh, dear, I shouldn't use that if I were you, Mr. Curry." "Nonsense, Bear. Stand back. I know what I'm doing. It can't have set that hard. Hasn't been time." Oh, yeah. Oh, Bear. Look at my knife.
Paddington did warn you. Whatever did you make the icing with?" "Well," said Paddington, "it's not so much what it's made with, Mrs. Bird, it's what it's on. I couldn't get the cake out of the oven, so I decided to leave it inside instead. It's what's known as a door cake. It saves having a cake tin, and it stays fresh for ages, if you give it half a chance."
in your heart, and you'll get through. Hold a little wimple in your heart, I'm telling you. If the outlook is bleak, and it's guidance you seek, put on your Wimpole hat and you'll know what to do.
Just outside Wimpole village, right by the sea, stands the big lighthouse. One day, Captain Mainmast, the lighthouse keeper, was just about to eat his lunch when a special announcement came over the radio.
Here's a special gale warning. Very strong winds are expected on all coastal areas later today. All ships must take extra special care.
Well, shiver me timbers. I'd better make sure me lighthouse is all shipshape before that storm arrives. We don't want any ships crashing onto the rocks now, do we?
The captain made his way up the windy stairs to the very top of the lighthouse.
Oh, dear. One of these days I'll have to get a lift put in here.
But while the captain was getting his breath back, he looked around his rather untidy lighthouse.
That's funny. It looks as if it's getting foggy out there already. I'm sure it was sunny when I was having me lunch. Well, blow me down. It wasn't foggy at all. It's me windows. They're filthy.
The captain ran his finger across the window. They hadn't been cleaned for years.
I'll have to clean them before the night. Otherwise, nobody will see me light out there at sea.
The captain ran down the windy stairs and into his little workshop. He soon found a long ladder and a bucket and a sponge. He filled the bucket with soapy water and leant the ladder against the side of the lighthouse. But oh dear, his ladder was too short.
Oh no, I can't reach. How am I gonna clean me windows now?
Hello, Captain. What are you trying to do up there?
PC Crooknapper, I'm glad you've come along. I've got a very serious problem to solve. I'll come down and tell you all about it.
But as he climbed down the ladder, he forgot his bucket of water.
Oh, yes, Captain, you really do have a problem.
Very funny, but that's not my big problem. Help me get this bucket off me head. Wow.
When they had got the bucket off the captain's head, he told PC Crooknapper about the approaching storm and his dirty windows.
Well now, Captain, you go and change into some dry clothes, and I'll have a cup of tea and a think.
PC Crooknapper sat and thought very hard. Then he had a great idea.
Hang on a minute, I've got it. Now, where's my phone book?
The captain had changed his clothes, but he was still very worried about his windows and the approaching storm.
Oh, dearie me. I hope PC Crooknapper can come up with a plan. It'll soon be dark and nobody'll see me light.
The captain looked very surprised when he heard a buzzing all around his lighthouse. There, hovering above him, was the big yellow Coast Guard's helicopter.
Hello, Captain. We've come to clean your windows. Clean me windows? How can you clean me windows with an helicopter? Close your window, Captain, or you'll get another wash of soapy water.
As if by magic, the windows suddenly sparkled clean as the helicopter hovered all around the lighthouse.
Well, shiver me timbers, what a clever plan. There you go, Captain. The ships will see your light on the other side of the world now.
The captain was so delighted with his shiny windows, he almost didn't notice the nasty black clouds gathering at sea.
Oh, me goodness, just in time. The storms are coming and it's getting dark. I'd better get everything ready.
The storm at sea was now in full force, but the ships didn't have to worry at all, because the Wimpole lighthouse would guide them safely away from the dangerous coastline, thanks of course to PC Crooknapper's amazing window cleaning service.
Hold a little Wimpole in your heart, and you get through. Hold a little Wimpole in your heart, I'm telling you. If the outlook is bleak, and it's guidance you seek, put on your Wimpole hat and you'll know what to do. Hold a little Wimpole in your and you'll get through. Hold a little Wimpole in your heart, I'm telling you. If the outlook is bleak and it's guidance you seek, put on your Wimpole hat and you'll know what to do.
Just by the side of Horace Hayseeder's farm is a big 10-acre field, and today it was going to be used for something very special. The big town fair was coming to Wimpole village.
Right, I'd better go and get ready. I'm on duty today, you know.
It wasn't long before the empty field became a busy, bustling fairground, with the big wheel, the dodgems, the roller coaster, and of course all the sideshows. While the twin bread snappers emptied their money box, PC Crooknapper and Bill were on duty at the fairground entrance.
Hello everybody. Have a nice day now.
It wasn't long before everybody was really having a good time.
By gum, lass, you'll have to hang on tight, you know.
Don't be silly, Ted. This is only a slow ride. There you are, Ted. I told you this ride was nice and gentle. Oh no, Ted. Oh, no.
By Gilda, you'd better stick to your milk float from now on.
If you'd better stay here, me lads. Ghost trains are a bit too scary for you, you know. There you go, boys. Just as I thought. Far too scary for you.
Poor old Major. Come on, let's go and find the dodgems.
Well, now the twins are behind the wheel. Everybody better watch out.
Oh, my good dear. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Horace, bet you can't hit that bell. OK, Dennis, just you stand back.
Harold Wholesome was doing quite well on the coconut shy. 1, 2, 3.
Rightio, Stamp. This is gonna be fun.
Dennis and Stamp enjoyed themselves so much, they had at least 3 goes on the big wheel.
Stay there, Stamp. I'm gonna get some more money for another go.
But when Dennis had gone, nobody noticed poor little Stamp, and the big wheel started again.
Oh, no! Hold on, Stamp! Hold on!
Oh, dear. Poor little Stamp. He certainly wasn't enjoying this ride.
Never mind, Stamp. At least you've had a free go.
But all too soon, the day was nearly over. Ethel Doneater had won a giant teddy bear on the hoopla, and Harold Wholesome had cleaned out the coconut shy. Just the job for his new creation, coconut milkshake. And the only problem PC Crooknapper had all day was trying to stop old Bill eating too many hot dogs. But the ones who enjoyed themselves the most were the twin bread snappers. Well, fairs are meant for children, aren't they?
Hold a little Wimpole in your heart, and you get through. Hold a little Wimpole in your heart, I'm telling you. If the outlook is bleak, and it's guidance you seek, put on your Wimpole hat, and you'll know what to do. Hold a little Wimpole in your heart each day.
morning, Will Quack Quack woke up with a feeling that today was going to be a very special day. He thought for a moment, and then jumped up. Way! Hooray! Today was his birthday. He hurried into his clothes and went downstairs. He'd hoped there would be a present, a bike like Shawnee's with drop handlebars. But there was no sign of anyone. Only a note that said, "Dear little Quack, gone to town to do some shopping. Mam and Dad." Oh, Quack. It was clear that they had all forgotten his birthday. He was so disappointed that he couldn't touch his wasp porridge. 2 teardrops rolled down his beak, and he licked them without thinking. Then there came a thump on the back door. Yoo-hoo! Hello, Will! Hello, boys. Mum and Dad have gone to town. I know, said Dick Penmoy. I saw them, and your dad said he was going to buy a... Ow! Wow! To buy a bow wow? Asked Will in surprise. Hey, Will, said Hugh Herrick, trying to attract Will's attention whilst the others passed a birthday cake behind their backs. Don't you want your porridge, no? Well, Will began, but before he could say more, Hugh gulped it down. At the same time, Ivan hid the cake in the wash tub and put the lid on. How about coming over to my place this afternoon about 3:30? Fine, they all said. And away they went. As Will watched them go, he remembered that Hugh had eaten his porridge and that he was starving. So he went out to look for snails. Before long, he found 2 fat ones in a muddy puddle. At last it was 3 o'clock, and Will set off for Shawnee's place. But when he arrived, his mother said, "Shawnee's just gone to Dick's place." "Oh, thank you," said Will, and set off immediately, without seeing the smile on her face. But when he reached Dick's place, what did he see but a note with Will on it, saying, "Tired of waiting for you, come to Hugh's place." Quack! Oh, when he reached Hugh's place, there was another note that said, "Gone to Will's house." And Will started off home again, feeling a very tired little duck. At last he reached home, quite exhausted, but there was no sign of anyone. He leaned backwards and fell head over heels into the kitchen. Happy birthday, Will! And when he looked up, everybody was there, and he realized they'd all played a trick on him. They all had presents for him, even a new bike from his dad and Mam. Bike! Great snails! Quack! And then it was time for the tea party, with a spider cake covered with snail cream. When he went to bed that night, Will was quite sure it had been the best birthday he'd ever had, after all. Oh, Quack! One morning, when Will was sleeping as usual, Martha, his mother, hurried into the bedroom. Will, wake up! Quack, Ma'am. I'm tired.
That's what comes of going to bed late. Will, I'm going to be very busy today, and I want you to go on an errand to Mr. Pugh the shop.
Oh, Quack, must I?
Well, yes. If you do this for me, I'll give you something to eat.
What?
Pancakes.
Quack! Pancakes? Snail cream pancakes?
Yes, Will.
In a jiff, Will got up, rushed downstairs and ate his breakfast like a good boy and fetched his cap and the shopping bag.
Now then, Will, I want a bottle of snail cream, a tin of dried worms, and a packet of wasp porridge. Can you remember that?
Yes, a bottle of snail cream, dried worms, and wasp porridge.
Then he grabbed the shopping bag and the money and dashed out. The alarm clock fell on Humfra's head. He was warming his tail at the time.
Rasmus, David, how time flies. Will, don't slam the door,
said Humfra, but Will had gone out of sight. Will went to Mr. Pugh's shop.
What do you want?
But when he saw that Will was shopping for his mother and that he wouldn't need to climb the ladder, he was all smiles and gave him a piece of yellow toffee for being a good customer. When Will arrived home, she prepared the pancake mixture with the bottle of snail cream. But as it was too soon to make the pancakes, Martha went to have a lie down. Then Will's friends arrived.
What are you doing, Will?
Said Hugh.
Guarding the pancake mixture, of course,
said Will.
Can we see?
Lovely smell, gobble gobble.
Terrific,
said Dick.
I love pancakes, said Johnny. I'm just dying for one.
So am I.
Then Johnny said,
There's a lot of mixture here. I'm sure your mother could spare just one spoonful.
Will hadn't the heart to say no, so Johnny put a spoonful into the frying pan. What a lovely smell. Smashing. Then it was time to toss the pancake. But Will tossed too hard and it landed upon Dick's bare head. But the nearest thing to water was the pancake mixture, and Dick gave a huge jump and landed head first in it. What a mess. Everybody covered in mixture and sliding in pools of cold cream. When Martha came down, she almost had a fit. But of course, before long, all five were out in the yard under the pump with Humfra saying,
Rasmus, David, you naughty boys.
And they had to run round the yard until they were dry, and then swallow a spoonful of Martha's medicine. And Will went to bed that night without any pancakes and without supper.
Quack!
One morning, when Will was sleeping late as usual, he was awoken by the voices of his friends.
Gobble, gobble, Will. You aren't still in bed?
Called Ivan.
Get up, lacy bones,
Called Hugh Herc.
I will go without you.
Go? Where?
To play football in the big field,
Answered Johnny.
Football? Yes.
Answered Dick Penmoy.
I brought a ball with me. Quack! I'll be with you in a minute.
Will put on the new jumper he'd had the previous Saturday from his mother and rushed downstairs.
Hello, little Quack. Come and have your porridge.
Oh, Quack, Mum. I haven't time. The boys are waiting.
Oh, no. Eat your wasp porridge now, or it's back to bed with you.
Quack, all right.
Will lifted the bowl to his mouth.
Oh, please, can I go now, please? Thank you, Ta.
All right. But don't wet your feet, nor tear your new jumper, nor climb to...
But Will had run out of the door.
Oh, Brenshaw! Oh, tut.
He didn't take long to catch his friends up, and they started to play. One in goal, and the others taking their turn to shoot, after they'd all taken off a waistcoat or jumper and put them down to make the goalposts. After a while, they decided to play 2 against 2. Johnny and Will against Dick and Ivan, and Hugh was referee. It was fun, especially when Will ran the ball between Ivan's thin legs. Suddenly they heard an awful, terrible, frightening, fearful noise.
Great snails! A ball!
Shouted Johnny.
Oh, help! Gobble, gobble,
Quack! Quack! What shall we do?
Cried Dick. Will shouted,
Run for the hedge, everybody!
And that's what they did, and jumped into the middle of the bramble bushes, all except Will. He was walking towards the bull, carrying the ball in his hands. The bull stopped, amazed to see Will doing such a daft thing. Then it bellowed. Put its head forward and charged.
Ta-da, pal!
Cried Johnny.
Oh, ta-ta, dear Will!
Cried Dick, Penmoyle and the others, and then,
wow! Hooray!
And well done, Will! As they saw Will bounce the ball in the bull's face and run low between its legs. Then he leapt straight into the prickly bramble hedge, leaving the bull looking totally surprised.
Oh, good on you, Will, gobble, gobble,
said Ivan. Then,
oh,
as he saw the bull trampling the clothes, and the ball stuck like a bubble on one of its horns. A tear came to Dick's eye when he saw the ball, but they all promised to help towards buying another one for him. Of course, Will had to allow Martha to pull the thorns out. But she didn't give him a row for ruining his jumper, nor for going into the bramble bushes, when she heard how he had saved his friends by being a very brave little Quack, and he had a plateful of worm cake in bed that night as a reward. Quack.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I'll just have one go in the slide, Ethel. Be with you in a minute. Never mind, Henrietta. It could have happened to anyone. Come over here on the swings. I feel awful, Ethel. I shake things, I break things. I know I'm fat, but I can't stop eating. Especially my mum's coconut cookies. Do you know, Eth? Nobody loves a 3,000 kilo hippo. I'm heavy, heavy, heavy. Oh no, you mustn't say that. Everybody loves you. And you're not fat. Just, pleasingly plump. You really think so? Of course I do. Well, maybe you're just a bit overweight. But you mustn't worry. All you need is a little exercise. Stop eating coconut cookies and you'll be the slimmest, loveliest hippo in Junglies village. Gosh, me? Slim and lovely? That's right. And we'll help you, won't we, Junglies?
Yes, of course we will, glad to.
You can help me.
Of course we can.
Let's start right now with a 3-mile run along the jungle trail. 3 miles? That's a long way to run without eating anything. I'll pick up my rucksack and catch you up on the trail. Nothing like an early morning run, I always say. Well, what are we waiting for, Lester? Go, go, go! That's funny. I'm sure your rucksack was very much bigger when we started the run, Henrietta. Really? I hadn't noticed. Come on, girls, we're off again. Right, we better go single file across the bridge. Oh dear, now look what I've done. Wrecked the bridge. Don't worry, Henrietta. We'll build another one. Gosh, what a run! Well, let's see if we've lost any weight. I lost a kilo.
I've lost 3 kilos.
I haven't lost anything, but I do feel extremely fit. Your turn, Henrietta.
3,005 kilos.
3,005 kilos?
And her rucksack's empty. You see, I thought, just in case I got hungry on the run, I'd better take a few coconut cookies along. Well, that's just what happened. I did get hungry, so I ate one cookie and another, It's only a weighing machine, Henrietta. We'll build another one.
If you ask me, a hippo ought to be nice and cuddly. Pleasingly plump, you might say.
See? What did I tell you? Pleasingly plump.
Oh! Anyway, who ever heard of a skinny hippo, eh?
Take the jungle, 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 take an animal, 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 take an island, 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 put the sea around it all. With the Junglies, we're going to show you our magic island in the sun. With the Junglies, we're going to show you how we all have jungle fun.
houses, the Junglies listened to the storm. It was a night for locking doors and windows tightly and hiding under the covers. They heard the sounds of tall palm trees being broken and uprooted. And then, just before dawn, the thunder and lightning stopped. The morning sun peeped over the distant horizon, and the Junglies ventured out into the village streets. Wherever they looked, they saw storm damage, and every Junglie had a story to tell.
Have I got a story to tell you? Remember where we used to live in our family houseboat? Well, we don't live there anymore. The high tide washed us downstream and dropped us behind Zoe's house.
We had a shock too. When I woke this morning, my bedroom wall was gone. I mean, anyone could look in.
I did, and guess what I saw? Ethel in her nightdress.
Marvin! Did the storm damage your house, Geraldine?
Oh, yes. It carried our roof away. But now we have a wonderful view of the whole of Jungly Island.
Looks like every house in Jungly Island has been hit by the storm. I think we ought to see if our school's all right.
Yeah, maybe it's been blown away.
You're right, Albert. The road may be blocked by fallen trees, but I think we can get through. Are you with me?
Yes.
With Tyrone in the lead, the Junglies made their way through the storm-wrecked rainforest. At last they came to a clearing and looked out at the school playground. Well, at the place where the school playground used to be.
Look, the school's still there.
Just my luck.
Oh dear, everything is gone. The slides, the seesaw, what can we do?
I know. Let's build a new playground.
Good idea. I'll rush home and get my dad's toolbox.
Come on, Marvin. Let's gather some wood.
By the time Tyrone returned, Albert, Marvin and Lester had gathered a pile of logs and branches, and the Junglies set to work. Marvin was especially pleased with his contribution.
Can I tie knots or can I tie knots? Hey, what do you think?
You certainly can. You've just tied 2 pieces of bamboo with Sebastian.
I don't think that's very funny.
Oops.
Fortunately, Marvin was able to sort out that knotty problem, and after a few more nails and knots, the new playground was finished. It had a wonderful new swing for Lester. It had a larger new slide for Ethel, and an even bigger sandpit for Henrietta. And it even had climbing ropes for Tyrone and Marvin.
Hey, this is great! What's this rope tied to? Ah, it's tied to me, Marvin. It's my tail.
Take me jungle, 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 take an animal, 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 take an island, 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 put the sea around it all. With the Junglies, we're going to show you our magic island in the sun. With the Junglies, we're going to show you how we all have jungle fun. Jungle fun. Jungle fun.
One day, Parsley was out for a walk in the herb garden when he came across Dill, fast asleep. By his side there was a piece of paper with some writing on it and a pencil. Dill is a dog, read Parsley. He lives in the herb garden. He is modest, kind, generous to a fault, gay, a loyal friend, frightened of nothing, noble, upright. Good gracious. Wake up, said Parsley. Oh, you made me jump, said Dill. I was just having a nice dream. What do you think you were, said Parsley. Who wrote this? You like it, said Dill. Like it, repeated Parsley. Did you say like it? It's my entry for Who's Who, said Dill modestly. Just in case they ever ask me. It's as well to be prepared. I think it's terrible, said Parsley. I mean, it's not even true. Not true, said Dill. What do you mean it's not true? Well, I mean, said Parsley, you only have to read it. Dill is a dog. He lives in the herb garden. Which is all right up to there. Thank you, said Dill. He is modest, kind, generous to a fault. Go on, said Dill. I could listen all day. Let's modest out for a start, said Parsley. Where's your pencil? You're sitting on it, said Dill. Ow! Cried Parsley. You might have told me. I've probably made a hole in myself now. I may even get lead poisoning. Serves you right, said Dill. You should have looked before you sat down. Right, said Parsley. That gets rid of kind. May I borrow one of your bones? No, said Dill firmly. I've only got 15 left to last the week. Generous to a fault, said Parsley. I don't know how you can sit there and write it. There won't be much left soon. Now, where have we got to? Gay. Gay, said Parsley. Gay? Well, you try being gay when all your illusions are being shattered one by one, said Dill. I've a good mind to tell Constable Knapweed. Gay? Out, said Parsley. Loyalty? Out. Well, at least no one can say I'm not brave, said Dill. When I think back to some of the things I've done in the past... Your memory isn't too good either, said Parsley. What do you mean? Asked Dill. Boo, said Parsley. What did you want to do that for? Gasped Dill, making me jump. Frightened of nothing, said Parsley. I shall be running out of pencil soon. Noble, upright. Oh, all right, said Dill. I pass. Would you like me to read it back? Asked Parsley. Said Dill. Dill is a dog. He lives in the herb garden. Yes, I think that about covers it. You can't say fairer than that. In fact, there's nothing much more to be said. Mind you, it isn't entirely wasted. Could still be used. It only needs one or two words changed. Like, lion instead of dog. Yes, that sounds better. Parsley is a lion. He lives in the herb garden. He is modest, kind, generous to a fault, gay, a loyal friend, frightened of nothing. Woof, said Dill. Woof, woof, of all the... What did you do that for? Woofing at me like that. You've got to take the woof with the smooth, said Dill. Besides, it's a wise lion who sees himself as others see him. Perhaps you're right, said Parsley. Who wants to be in Who's Who, anyway? Today, said Parsley, feels like an inventing day. The thing is, what shall we invent? How about an everlasting bone? Asked Dill. You wouldn't like it, said Parsley. You'd soon get fed up. Try me and see. You just try me and see. Perhaps I could invent the wheel, said Parsley dreamily. Think of the things you could do with a wheel. It's been done, said Dill gloomily. Bayleaf's got one on his barrow. Well, there must be something, said Parsley. How about a wigwam for grinding smoke? Asked Dill. Look, said Parsley, if you can't think of anything sensible to invent. All right then, said Dill. Everlasting bones. You can't have anything more sensible than that. Did Sir Isaac Newton have all this trouble when he invented the apple? Asked Parsley. Shouldn't think so, said Dill. Did Yelsrap have all this trouble? Yelsrap? Repeated Dill. That's you-know-who spelt backwards, said Parsley menacingly. And he's about to invent a machine for doing away with dogs. He's a nice chap, but he does go on about his bones. That's the only trouble with dogs. They're all the same. How about inventing a mechanical dog? Wouldn't take much. Just a few cogs, an old bit of fur, and some whiskers. Not like a lion. Stir it all up with Bayleaf's magic broom. I'd have one in no time at all. And it wouldn't keep on about bones. You wish to borrow my cooking pot, Mr. Parsley? Said Pashana Betty. To make a dog? You are most welcome. But I am warning you, please, to be very careful. This is the pot in which I am cooking my curry. If you are not very, very careful, you will end up with a hot dog. I can't think why you wish to borrow my old fur hat, Parsley, said Lady Rosemary. I should have thought you have quite enough fur as it is. Is it some kind of game? Well, said Parsley, yes and no. Wool, said Aunt Mint, for a dog's whiskers. Will they sag a little in the wet weather? Not when I've finished with them, they won't, said Parsley. You wait and see. The bedside clock, said Sir Basil. Don't see what you want a bedside clock for. Lions don't have beds. Here, what's going on? Called Bayleaf. You be careful with that there broom. That be my magic broom, that be. Blessed lions, you never know what they're going to be up to next. It isn't easy being an inventor, gasped Parsley. I'm glad I don't have to do it for a living. Where's my book? P, Q, R, S. Ah, here we are. Spells cooking. Make sure all the ingredients are in the pot. Stir with magic broom. Say magic spell. Sparrow's kneecaps, 1, 2, 3. Come on, chaps, it's time for tea. Close eyes and turn round 6 times, slowly. Good gracious, said Dill. Whatever's going on? Poor old Parsley. Don't say he's gone funny in the head. It's probably all this inventing. 5, 5 1/2, 5 3/4, 6. Eureka! Exclaimed Parsley. It's worked! Who would have thought it? It looks just like Dill. There, said Dill. The same fur, said Parsley. The same whiskers. It's amazing. Well, of course, said Dill. Some dogs have it, some haven't. It not only looks like Dill, it sounds like him as well. I think I'll patent it. I'll flood the world with mechanical dogs. How about mechanical dogs with everlasting bones? Said Dill. It's an idea I've been working on. You just add water. On second thoughts, said Parsley, I've changed my mind. It'll never catch on. It's too much like the real thing.
A new dream every day, Huxley Pig. Who are you gonna be today, Huxley Pig? A suitcase full of clothes, everybody knows. When you're dressed in your Sunday best, anything goes. A new dream every day, Huxley Pig. Who gonna be today, Huxley Pig? Sam is here to play. Food is never far away. A new dream every day, Huxley Pig. A new dream every day. Huxley Pig.
Now that bit goes there, and if I put that bit there... Now where's that thruster jet? I had it a moment ago. No, Sam, it's the thingy that goes on the end here, see? Oh, I wish I was a better model maker. Oh, this glue gets all over the place. Uh-oh, I'm stuck. Oh, crumbs. Oh, no. Help, Sam, help. Pull, Sam, pull. Oh, crumbs, that's torn it. I wonder what it would be like to fly in a real spaceship, Sam. I wonder. Here, can't you go any faster, actually? Is that the only gear you've got? Well, I've got my pyjamas in my suitcase, but... No, I mean, can we get out of first gear? Oh, yes, right. Here. Oh, sorry, Sam. Oh, yes, that's better. Take over the controls for a minute, would you? Right-o. Mine out. I just want to check the intergalactic A to Z. Well, don't you know where we're going, actually? No, I'm just checking the map. Now, let me see. We're about here between Saturn and Uranus. Oh, crumbs, I think we've gone past our stop. Yes, I wanted to land somewhere in the asteroids. Oh, sounds painful. The asteroid belt, Sam, between Mars and Jupiter. We better turn round then, actually. Yes. Now, which of these buttons should I... Ah, that one. Oh, now reverse. Where's reverse? Blimey! Oh, crumbs, I better look in the driving manual. Now, let me see. Repair, retread, regurgitate, revolting, reversing. Here, actually, we don't want to reverse all the way to the asteroids. Oh, no, you're right there, Sam. The 3-point turn. Yes, that should do it. Yeah, I hope so. I'd like to land. The facilities are a bit dodgy in here. No, yes, it is a bit stuffy. Yeah, I'll open the window. No, don't do that, Huxley. You'll let the space in. Oh, sorry. Here, Huxley, there's a telly down here. Oh, goody. Let's see what's on.
Vile Vincent at your service, speedy crunching, happy munching at the final frontier. Come and feast at the finest, fastest intergalactic burger bar in the universe.
Oh, scrumptious. Sample our super speedy satellite sandwich from Saturn. Blimey, that was quick. Pick a perfect platter from Pluto. Our popular hot dogs with plenty of pickles. Ooh, yummy. Munch on a lunch of the fastest mega meatballs from Mercury with mushy peas from the planet Earth. All the way from home. Cool. Try the speedy special tonight. Our terrific toad in the black hole.
This is Vile Vincent, wishing you speedy crunching, happy munching at the final frontier.
Cool, I fancy that, actually. Actually? What? What is it, Sam? What? I don't like to bother you, actually, but there's a giant asteroid and it's coming straight towards us. Oh, crumbs. Oh, no. Ow! I don't know. Press something. Press anything. Right-o. Here goes. Oh, perfect. A customer? Crumbs, where are we? Oh, are you all right, Sam? I don't know. A beak, wings, feet. Yeah, all present and accounted for. Come on, let's take a look outside. No, wait a second, Sam. I ought to say something. Yeah, like what? It's one small step for a pig. And one giant leap for pig kind. Oh! Huxley Pig, whatever are you doing here? Oh, hello, Horace. Where are we? Planet Horace? Oh, there's no such planet. Oh, yes, there is. I discovered it. You might know it as Planet X. Oh, yes. I've heard something about Planet X. You mean this is it? Yes, it's mine. All mine. Now, is there any life here? Apart from you, that is? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Bless my soul. You should see us on a Saturday night at the Final Frontier. Hey, actually, the Final Frontier. That's the place what that geezer on telly was rabbiting on about. Oh, yes. Do you know someone called Vincent? Oh, yes. He's my manager at the Final Frontier. What? You own it? I told you, Huxley. This is my planet. I own everything. But where is it? I'm starving. I'll get Cuddles to take you. Cuddles? Yes, you'll meet him in a moment. What is that, Cuddles? No, it's my remote commander, silly. I just press this button here and... Oh, I'm having a few teething troubles.
Hello, everybody.
Crumbs! Who said that? Oh, it's not working properly. Where are you, Cuddles?
Here I am.
Where? Pick something up so I can see where you are. Hey, let me go! Blimey! Oh, Crumbs, who are you? This is Cuddles, Huxley, my assistant. He helps me around the workshop.
Here, I'll have that.
Yo. Oh, look what you've done, Cuddles. I'm invisible. You put me back. Here, actually, he never was all there.
Here, I'll get him back.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, my head. Oh, I feel quite dizzy. Oh, ew. You said that Cuddles could take us to the Final Frontier. What about your spaceship? You'll need an ace mechanic like me to repair it. Oh, would you, Horace? That's very kind of you. Kind? Me? I've got a living to make, you know. I take Access, Visa, Barclaycard, American Express, or Intergalactic. Well, I've only got space traveller's checks. That'll do nicely, sir. Well, are you sure they won't bounce? Oh, no, nothing rubbery about my checks. Good. Cuddles, take them to the Final Frontier.
Right, Horace. This way, boys. Here we are. Funny. Not much going on tonight. Very quiet.
Perhaps it's closed. Try knocking.
Yeah. Okay.
Vincent, at your service, gentlemen. What brings you here?
Oh, watch you, Vincent. Yeah, my friends and me, we like a meal.
Meals are off. Off? All off? Well, on the telly you said happy munching at the Final Frontier. That was before the food went off. Went off? Off where? No, you don't understand. It went off, went bad. It's wafting around the galaxies.
No mega meatballs, then?
No, all shriveled up. What, no satellite sandwiches? No, I had to throw them all away. No, toad in the black hole, I suppose? I heard a last croak this morning, sir. So why did all the food go bad? Because Horace wouldn't pay his bills. The suppliers wouldn't send any more food. Oh, just wait till I get hold of that rotten rodent.
I think I could help you there. I brought this with me.
The remote commander? Can you get us back to our spaceship?
I can do better than that.
Yo, hello, Huxley. I'm just finishing the repairs. Yeah, did you enjoy your meal? No, we didn't. The restaurant was closed, thanks to you, Horace. It's lucky I left some sandwiches in the spaceship. Huxley, you see, I was just feeling a bit peckish, and I've... My sandwiches! You've eaten them! Give me the remote, Cuddles. Right then, you rotten
No,
rodent.
Huxley, no.
Oh, crumbs. Oh, crumbs. I don't remember finishing my spaceship model. Well, perhaps I'm not such a bad model maker after all. I do feel hungry, though. I wonder what's in my lunchbox. Oh, crumbs. It's a super speedy satellite sandwich from Saturn.
Huxley Pig was reading a holiday postcard from his granny. Hey, listen to this, Sam. Granny says it's rained every day, so she's been to the cinema a lot. She's seen Lawrence of Arabia 7 times. The film is all about this British soldier who dresses up as an Arab in the desert. He helps the Arabs fight the Turkeys for their freedom. Crumbs, they must have been big birds. Oh, it's Granny's writing. It's not turkeys, Sam. Turks. So, it was a fair fight. Crumbs, what a story. I wish I could make a film like that. Oh, I wish. Huxley Pig was getting ready to film Lawrence of Arabia. But there were a few problems. Where is everyone, Sam? There's no Lawrence. And I ordered 3 camels. Where's the camel driver? All right, calm down, Huxley. Calm down. He'll be here soon. OK, I just checked the camera, Sam. Look, it's Horace with flat camels. Flat camels? Oh, crumbs. What is he dressed as? Oh, it's you, Huxley Pig. Oh, hello, Horace. So you're the camel driver. The very same. These are my camels. But they're cardboard. Oh, yes. But they're on wheels, see? I asked for real camels, not toys. Oh, I know, Huxley, but I heard it was a low-budget production. Oh, crumbs. What shall I do? No camels, no star, no film. Well, it says here, Lawrence is small, brown and hairy. Horace? You mean Horace as Lawrence? Yeah, why not? He's small, brown and hairy. Yes. Perfect casting, Sam. Perfect? I'm a camel driver, Huxley, not a film star. It's your big chance. In fact, it's your only chance. My only chance? No play, no pay. You should have brought real camels. Oh, well, if you put it like that, perfect. Oh, real film studio. Oh, this is more like it. Right, in this scene, Horace, the Emir is entertaining you with a lovely feast. You've been travelling across the desert for days. You stagger into the tent and you collapse exhausted. Exhausted? OK, Huxley. We're ready to shoot, Huxley. Wait a minute, Sam. Yes, what is it, Vincent?
A word, dear boy. I am not sure I'm in the right movie.
How do you mean, Vincent?
Well, I generally play horror parts, you know. Dracula, that sort of thing.
Well, I see your role as a sort of Arabian Dracula, Vincent. You were my first choice, unlike others I could mention.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you. Good. Well, I'm so glad we had this little chat.
Whew, nearly lost an actor there. That was careless. Right, on action, Vincent. Horace will enter and fall at your feet if he can manage that, OK?
Got it, dear boy.
Horace's entrance. Take 1. And action. Oh, water. Oh, water. Oh.
I say, am I on TV?
Cut. Who are you?
I'm Sydney the Snake. I heard you were short of dancers.
Well, not that short. Can you act?
To be or not to be, that is the question. That's Shakespeare, you know.
Sign him up, Huxley. He's a natural.
I know the desert so well.
Good. You can be Lawrence's guide to the desert. Give him a script, Sam. Righto. Good. Now, a rehearsal for you, Horace. Do you know your lines? Oh, I am Lawrence of Arabia, Prince of the Desert. Now, just say that to the Emir and we'll shoot it. Camera rolling. Lawrence and the Emir, take 1. And action. I am Horace of Arabia. Oh, cut. Horace, you're Lawrence. Oh, yes. Of course. It's quite difficult, this acting, Huxley. We'll take a break there. Oh, now, where's my lunchbox? Well, why bother with your lunchbox with all this food about, eh? Oh, yes. We don't need the food anymore, do we, Sam? No. Just close-ups of Horace now. Right then. Lunchtime. Cut. Now, in this scene, what I'm trying to... Actually... Oh, what is it, Sam? I'm explaining the scene. Yeah, I know, but I've got bad news. You've got the lens cap on the camera. Oh, crumbs. Oh, Oh, that means... It means the film won't come out. And we ate all that food. Oh, that was your idea, Horace.
Well, you ate most of it, Huxley.
Oh, well, I won't think about it today. I'll think about it tomorrow. Now, as I was saying, you are lost in the desert.
Yes.
And through the shimmering heat of the sun, you can see an oasis. Water, water, at last. You are saved. And then your line, Horace.
It's only a mirror.
No, not a mirror. A mirage, you rotten rodent.
It's only a mirage, you rotten rodent.
Oh, crumbs. What a dim actor. Now, Horace, you stagger towards the pool and fall down exhausted.
Oh, but I thought the oasis was only a mirage.
No, it turned out to be real.
Why?
Because it's here, because Sam found it, and because I've thought of a wonderful stunt you can do.
Stunt? Oh, no, I don't do stunts. Shouldn't I have a double?
You are the double.
Oh, but I'm the star.
No play, no pay. Remember, Horace?
Oh, yes, I remember. All right. What do I have to do?
Just fall in the water.
But I'll get wet.
Yeah, very probably.
Oh, dear.
Horace, falling in the water. Take one.
Quiet on the set, please. Action. Horace.
Oh, Huxley, I'm not ready.
That was very good, Horace. There was just one thing wrong.
Not your lens cap again, I hope.
No, there's water on the lens.
What, you want it again?
Oh, ridiculous. Jump over that way, Horace, and then it won't splash the lens.
This is the last jump, Huxley.
Yeah, the very last.
Horace, falling in the water. Take two.
Here I go.
Wonderful, Horace. Yeah. Oh, just one thing, Horace. I've run out of film. Oh, this is too much. Well, I filmed everything except Horace's flat camels. I can't use those.
Here, I've got it. Long shot of camels, wind machine, sandstorm.
Oh, great idea, Sam. Horace, take your camels over the hill and nobody will realise they're only cardboard. Not in a sandstorm. Right, ready with the wind machine? No rehearsal.
In a sandstorm, take one. Actually, I've gone with the wind.
Action! Oh, that's marvellous. You'd never know they were cardboard. Hey, what? That's my lunchbox. My lunchbox, my sandwiches. Oh, crumbs! My sandwiches. Oh, here they are, Sam. They're safe. Oh, crumbs. There's sand in my sandwiches. I suppose that's why it's called a sandwich. Quack. And what's this? Oh, I remember now. The film, those cardboard camels, and the sandstorm. Of course. Quack. Oh, it was fun making the film. And Horace was so good at falling in the water. Quack. Horace of Arabia. Oink, oink. Oink, oink. Oink, oink. Oink, oink.
Huxley Pig was very excited. The postman had brought him a parcel.
Oh, there you are, Sam. I know that writing anywhere. A parcel from Granny. I wonder what she sent me. Oh, that suits you. Sorry, Sam. There's a card from Granny. And look what she sent me. A beautiful aeroplane. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Just what I wanted. Meow. Oh, gosh, I wish this was a real plane. And I could fly high in the sky, just like you, Sam. What's it like to fly? I wonder. Yahoo! Whee! I wonder why the sky's so high. I suppose it's so the birds won't bump their heads, eh? Oh, this is the life. If only Granny could see me now. Mind out down there. Whoever said pigs couldn't fly, eh? Whee, I'm a bird! Woo! Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I think I'm in trouble. Oh, crumbs. I better land. Yeah. Yeah. Where's the airfield gone? It was there a minute ago. Oh, dear. Oh, crumbs. I can't see for clouds.
Having trouble, Huxley?
Oh, thank goodness you're here, Sam. I think I'm lost. And the engine's making the most terrible noises.
You're far too high above the clouds, Huxley. Come down and follow me to the airfield.
Oh, crumbs. Oh, it's good to be on the ground again, Sam.
Look, here comes Horace.
Hello, Huxley Pig.
Oh, hello, Horace. What are you doing here?
I'm the mechanic. I saw you landing, Huxley. Oh, terrible. You've got engine trouble.
I know that, but can you fix it?
Oh, that? Of course I can. Simple. Your little plane's no problem to an ace mechanic like me, Huxley.
Well, Sam and I are off to lunch. Will you be long?
As long as it takes. No longer.
Oh, don't forget to fill her up with fuel.
Unleaded, of course, Huxley.
Oh, ridiculous. As if I'd forget the fuel. Oh, do they think I am?
Come on, Sam, hurry up. Leave that gull alone.
All done.
Oh, is she ready to fly?
Well, I'd like to take her up for a test flight first. Jump in the back.
Well, but... oh, I suppose so. Righto.
Here, wait for me. Here, come back. Come back. Here, what's the hurry? Oh, blimey.
I thought this was going to be just a little test flight.
Well, I put her through her paces. She seems perfect. We'll go for a spin now. Hold on.
Oh!
You're running. Oh dear, I've stalled.
Oh, I've just remembered I've left something in the oven, and I did say I'd be back by... Oh, is that the time? I must be going. But
bye now.
But Horace, you rotten rodent! Oh, crumbs! Now what am I going to do?
Well, you have to take over, won't you?
I can't do that. I can't reach the controls from here.
Of course you can't. You'd look pretty stupid if you could. You'll have to get in the pilot's seat.
Huh. It's easy for you, Sam. You're a bird. Pigs can't fly.
Oh, yes, they can. If they just get into the pilot's seat. Come on, I'll help you.
Oh, my arm.
The other way. Get off that heavy lunch,
I don't like heights. Put me down.
I can't see. Yeah, where have you gone? Here, where have you gone, Huxley?
Oh, crumbs. We did it, Sam.
Yeah, you did it. Here, the engine's picked up too. Oh, that's better.
Oh, look, Sam. There's a little island down there. I wish we could land.
We may have to. Have you seen the fuel gauge?
Oh, no. It's almost empty. I told Horace to fill her up.
Well, you can't stay up here much longer. It's either crash in the sea or crash on the island.
Or jump overboard. Yeah, that's it. I'll, hang on. He should be here somewhere. Sam, is there another parachute back there? Only
No, not back here.
Oh, crap! Oh.
Huxley, are you all right? Ah! Oh, blimey, what's that?
Oh, Sam.
Huxley.
Oh, there you are. Are you all right?
Not a scratch, but I think we hit a snake.
You've disturbed Hidney's snooze.
Sorry? Your snooze? What's that?
His snooze. We woke him up.
I can't get any peace. First it's a parachutist, and now a plane. Is anyone else coming?
Did you say
parachutist? Where?
He's skulking behind that tree. See?
Oh, hello, Huxley. I see you made it, eh? No thanks to you, eh, Horace? Oh, well, sorry about that. I panicked a bit back there. Well, you weren't much help. You forgot to refuel the plane, ace mechanic.
Oh,
now, how do we get off the island?
We're marooned. Stuck here. Oh! Will you be staying then?
Well, it looks like it. Unless you can think of anything.
Thinking's not my strong point. May I see inside your plane?
Oh, yes, go ahead, Sydney. But don't touch anything, though. We've got to think this out. Hey, I've got it. Why don't we build a boat? How? What with?
Well, smash up the plane and make a...
Smash up the plane? You must be...
Excuse me, but what's this smelly can for?
What smelly can, Sydney?
Come and see.
Oh, crumbs. I hope it's not my tin of tuna fish gone off. Gosh, I think it's... Yes, it is.
Is it?
Sydney's found a petrol can.
Glad to be of service.
Good for Sid.
Well, we've got the fuel. Now, how to take off from here? That's the problem. There's not much space. Ah, here it is. I don't know if this will work, but I found some rope by the fuel can.
Oh, I suppose you think we could pull the plane home, do you, eh?
No, catapult it.
Catapult it?
Oh, ridiculous. Sydney, these palm trees, pretty bendy, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Very thoughtful. Like me.
Then here's what we do. All right, Sydney, take the strain.
Yes, it's secure.
Yeah, I hope you know what you're doing, Huxley.
Oh.
Now, you know what to do, Sydney, don't you?
Yes. Goodbye, everybody. I'll miss you.
We'll miss you too, Sydney. And thanks for all your help.
Well, I just hope it's going to work.
It's our only chance.
Ready, Sydney? Start to unwind the rope.
Yeah. Here goes.
Whee! Oh, that was an exciting flight. Oh, the island. Yeah, I remember. Oh, and poor Sydney. He was sad to see us leave.
Quack!
That's given me quite an appetite. I'll have a look in my lunchbox. I think I've got some pickled onion sandwiches left. Here. What's this? Oh, I don't believe it. Oh, a coconut. Get your beak round that, Sam. A coconut.
Oink, oink. Oink, oink. Oink, oink. Oink, oink. Oink, oink.
Parsley is a herb. Do you see what it is next to? A wild strawberry plant. Parsley the lion likes strawberries. So does Dill the dog. And Sage the owl. I'm not too sure about Bayleaf. He's probably too busy with other things, like Constable Knapweed. Constable Knapweed has to keep law and order in the herb garden. He hasn't got time to eat strawberries. Sir Basil and Lady Rosemary have a very fine bed of strawberry plants. In fact, the annual strawberry picking is quite an event. Lady Rosemary keeps all the old boxes that were used for Christmas presents, and they usually manage to fill them all. We'll go inside and watch, if you like. I'll just say the magic word. Herbidaceous. There's no one about. Well, I expect they're all busy. There they are. Sir Basil, Lady Rosemary, and Bayleaf. Working away. It's hard work picking strawberries. Makes your back ache.
I am Sir Basil, the king of the herbs. Today, I'm really in trouble. This strawberry picking is very hard work, and it hurts when I have to bend double.
I don't think we've ever been in this part of the herb garden before. There's a pile of drain pipes. They've been there for as long as anyone can remember. In fact, no one knows why they were put there in the first place. And there's Bayleaf's barrow, piled high with Lady Rosemary's old Christmas boxes, full of strawberries. They have been busy. There can't be many left to pick now.
My name is Lady Rosemary, working here so busily. My fingers nimble and so quick are useful when there's fruit to pick.
Oh, I think we've nearly come to the end, Bayleaf.
I reckon you're right, ma'am. I reckon we shall have a fair old load on the barrow now.
Thank goodness for that. Now, perhaps I can get on with me fishing. Not today, Basil. We have to sort them all out first. Some for eating, some for jam. You can take them away, Bayleaf.
Right, ma'am.
I'm Bayleaf, I'm the gardener. I've done a lot today. Now I must start to tidy up and put these things away.
Here. Where's me barrow? Someone's stolen me barrow.
Come along, Bayleaf. I know you've had a busy day, but we haven't finished yet.
'Tis me barrow, ma'am. It's been stolen.
What's that? Did you say stolen?
Well, it were there not 2 minutes ago. Now it be gone. So it must have been stolen. Barrows don't just disappear into thin air. Unless...
Unless what, Bayleaf?
Unless it were the phantom strawberry picker.
Nonsense, Bayleaf. Ghosts don't eat strawberries. Constable Knapweed. Constable Knapweed.
Well, 'tain't the first time strawberries have been missing.
There's a difference between 1 or 2 strawberries being missing, Bayleaf, and a whole barrow load. Constable Knapweed.
I am Constable Knapweed, and I keep law and order. I watch to see that all is well along the garden border.
Did you call, ma'am?
Ah, there you are, Knapweed.
What be the trouble? Someone been disturbing the peace? Has that old owl known as Sage been hooting again during the hours of daylight?
Knapweed, all our strawberries have disappeared.
Oh, that be a very serious matter. Very serious indeed.
I wouldn't mind so much if we hadn't spent all afternoon picking them.
They were in my barrow and all. It was standing right here. Now it ain't.
I shall have to examine the ground for clues.
You asked me, it be the phantom strawberry picker. As I understand it, a phantom is a kind of ghost what you can't see. That's right. That's why we didn't see it. 1 minute it were there, the next minute it had gone.
In that case, I don't think he would have left a paw print behind him. What's that? A paw print?
That's right, Sir Basil. You look for yourself.
By Jove, Knapweed, you're right. They are paw prints.
Shh.
Eh? What? Do be quiet, Basil. Look.
Hello, here comes Parsley. I expect he's been having his afternoon nap. He likes a nap in the afternoon. Or after meals. After meals? I say, Parsley, you wouldn't... I mean, you haven't, have you?
Parsley, come here at once. Parsley?
have you been eating the strawberries?
But you like strawberries? Likes strawberries. And was last seen licking lips. I'd like to take your paw prints now, young lion. Place it down here, please. I'm not saying it's the same, and I'm not saying it isn't. It'll all have to be gone into. It's highly suspicious, especially the licking of the lips part. I shall have to place you under arrest until the whole matter can be gone into. Come here, young lion.
Parsley, come here at once.
Where are you going, Parsley?
It's no use hiding, young lion. You'll only make matters worse for yourself.
There he is, looking out of the other pipe.
I'll teach you to play tricks on me, young lion. Just you wait.
Bless my soul, he's back again.
Basil, cut off his retreat.
These sort of goings-on won't do you any good, young fella, me lion. Just you wait until I get it all down in my notebook. There he be.
I say, steady on.
It's all the fault of that young lion. I tell you what, if I block this end with some of these here branches, you can all go round the back and catch him when he comes out.
Capital, Bayleaf. Come, Basil.
This'll stop his pranks. Playing hide and seek, this'll stop him. Thank you.
Hurry, Bayleaf.
Sharp along now, ma'am. Thank you.
Can't see him anywhere, Bayleaf. You sure we're not too late? I'm a very friendly lion called Parsley. I'm so happy doing jobs of every kind. Although this time Mr. Bayleaf hasn't asked me, he'd be so surprised if he should look behind.
Bayleaf?
Yes, ma'am.
Look behind you, man.
Why, it is old Parsley. Parsley, come back, you young varmint. I'll have your tail off, I will. I'll have your mane as a duster. Here, have you seen that there Parsley go by? Sitting there stuffing yourselves when there's work to be done. You'll make yourself sick, you will, eating all them strawberries. Here. Where did you get them from?
Dill, Sage, what are you up to?
Upon my soul. Do you mean to say it wasn't Parsley after all?
Dill, Sage, what's the meaning of this? Just you wait until Constable Knapweed hears about it. You'll be in serious trouble.
Ah, once he gets your names down in his notebook.
Ow, 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 ow.
Stop them, Knapweed.
I'm sorry, Sir Basil. One thing at a time. I has that young lion to catch first. I can't do two jobs at once. First things first, I always say. I'll make a note of it. It'll all be gone into at the proper time.
Do put that notebook away, Knapweed. It wasn't Parsley at all.
It was Dill and Sage all the time. Parsley, dear boy, I hope you'll forgive us.
Fancy thinking you'd eaten them, Parsley.
It may be no use sniffing those boxes. They've eaten the lot, stalks and all.
Can't understand it. It's not like Dill or Sage to do a thing like that without asking.
Parsley, what are you doing?
Looks as if he's trying to tell us something.
Well, I'll be... Here, see what it says on the side? It says, to Dill, with best wishes. Ah, and this one says, to Sage, wishing him a Merry Christmas.
Wishing him a Merry Christmas? Oh, it's your blessed boxes, Rosemary. The ones everyone had their presents in. That's what comes of saving old boxes. You should have put them on the bonfire. Told you so.
I reckon old Sage and Dill thought you'd given them strawberries as a present.
You can't blame them, Rosemary.
Come, Basil. We must go to them at once and apologize. Parsley, do you know where they may be hiding?
When found, nearly all the strawberries had been eaten by said owl and dog. Also, some cream And some sugar. Very, very tasty. I may have to keep these remains, Mr. Bayleaf, for evidence.
Ah, there you are, Dill. It's all right. We aren't cross with you. You can come out now.
Come on, boy. I say, are you all right? Don't say you're stuck. All right, then. You stay there. I'll see if I can find you another strawberry as a reward.
I'm Dill the dog. I'm a dog called Dill. I'm afraid that I've been greedy. I'm feeling rather seedy. Oh dear. How about Sage? Sage, where are you?
Would you like a strawberry, Sage?
I'm a rather fat feathery owl called Sage. I've been sitting here eating for simply an age. Those strawberries and cream are a wonderful feast. I can't face any more for a fortnight at least.
I don't think strawberries are very popular anymore. Enough is as good as a feast, and too many is worse than none at all. Sage feels ill. Dill is stuck in the pipe. Mind you, I expect he'll get out in time, especially if he goes without his bones for a day or two. That's right, Sage. I shouldn't look. I don't know how he's going to get back up to his nest. He must be full of strawberries. Oh, I'm sorry, Sage. I shouldn't have mentioned that word. And what's Parsley up to? I wonder if he's seen a box with his name on. I thought so. 3 boxes? Lions must do very well at Christmas. I think we'd better go. I can see you're going to be busy. Goodbye, Parsley. Don't eat too many and get stuck in the pipe like Dill. Parsley is a herb. So is basil and rosemary. There are hundreds of different kinds in the herb garden. Dill, tarragon, bay leaf and knapweed, sage, the chives and the onions, and many others, all of them living happily together. The only trouble is, there are so many it can get rather crowded. And it isn't easy for the smaller ones to make themselves felt. In fact, the only time they really got a chance was the day Sir Basil decided to let them put on a show. If you like, I'll take you inside and show you what happened. I'll just say the magic word. Herbidaceous. There was great excitement in the garden. Some of the smaller herbs, like the chives, sometimes dressed up, just for fun. But none of them had ever taken part in a real show before. Not on a real stage with curtains and scenery, and certainly not in front of a real grown-up audience like Sir Basil and Lady Rosemary. Bayleaf built the theatre. He made the stage out of old packing cases, and he hung the curtains between Sage's tree and a post. There was a royal box for Sir Basil and Lady Rosemary on one side, and on the other side were all the ropes for the curtains and scenery. Parsley put himself in charge of these, and he felt most important. There was one rope for the curtain, and another for the scenery. There was even one for ringing a bell. Here, what's going on? Oh, help! Help! I think you've got the wrong rope, Parsley. That's the one for the flying ballet. Parsley, where's that there lion? If I thought he'd done that on purpose, I
think you're wise, Parsley. I should stick to drawing the curtains for the time being. We'll go and see how things are getting on in the dressing room. Must be nearly time for the show.
It's not exactly a dressing room. It's really an old tent belonging to Mr. Onion. In fact, here comes Mr. Onion himself and all the chives.
Left, right. Hurry along there, chives. We haven't got all day. Because there are so many chives all looking like each other, it makes it even hard to tell a sister from a brother.
I want you all out of here, made up and ready to go by the time I count 10. 1, 2...
Come along, Sage. No time to lose.
I'm a rather fat feathery owl called Sage. I'm practicing singing to go on the stage. I sing all the scales and I know every word. And everyone knows I've a voice like a bird. Ah.
Oh dear, I hope he's not going to sing again. It was bad enough last time. Still, if I know Constable Nepweed, he'll soon put a stop to it.
I am Constable Nepweed, and I keep law and order. I watch to see that all is well along the garden border.
Move along there. Make way.
I wonder what he's going to do. Dill must be in a hurry. He hasn't even bothered to sing his song.
I'm bailiff, I'm the gardener. I work from early dawn. You'll find me sweeping up the leaves and tidying the lawn. Ah.
I don't think Bayleaf will be very popular if he tries to take his wheelbarrow in there. It must be getting rather crowded by now. Here comes Tarragon.
I'm Tarragon the dragon. I'd better make it clear that nothing's safe when I'm about. Things seem to disappear.
I hope he doesn't breathe too hard inside the tent. There's not really room for all those others and a dragon.
Oh, here. Watch what you are doing, young dragon. Where's my notebook? What have you done with my notebook? Here, my greenhouse.
I don't think I want to look, do you, Parsley? And I'm sure it's best if Sir Basil and Lady Rosemary don't see it. Anyway, they're much too busy making themselves comfortable.
Where are you, Rosemary? Oh, there you are.
Basil, must you take your fishing rod wherever you go?
Not take me fishing rod. Suppose it rains.
Shh, Basil. Do sit down. I think the show's about to start.
If you ask me, you've got the right idea, Parsley. Putting yourself in charge of ropes. It's a nice, quiet job.
I'm a very friendly lion called Parsley, with a tail for doing jobs of every kind. If I draw these curtains gently, never harshly, you will be surprised at what you see behind.
Here goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first act on the program will be a display of marching by the chives, followed by a rendering of There's No Business Like Show Business. During this display, the chives will do some to and fro marching, the like of which has never before been seen on any stage. Chives!
Oh dear, I think he's forgotten to say halt.
Here, where have you got to, Chives? Chives, where are you? Come back, come back!
That's right, Parsley, I should draw the curtains. No, Tarragon, it's not your turn yet. You come on later, much later.
What's next, Rosemary?
A display of bone eating by Dill.
I don't like the sound of that very much. Wake me up when he's finished.
I'm Dill the dog. I'm a dog called Dill. On bones I love to chew. I can eat up quite a few.
I must say it looks as if it's going to be a rather long act. And there are an awful lot of bones. Half the audience are asleep already. Even Parsley looks as if he's nodded off. Parsley? Parsley! Wake up! Oh dear, I think you've pulled the curtains by mistake. Perhaps it's as well.
Wake up, Basil. It's all over. Parsley's drawn the curtains.
Huh?
What? Oh, thank goodness for that. Good old Parsley. Now perhaps we shall see something a bit more lively.
No, Tarragon, you're still too soon. It's Mr. Bayleaf's turn. Here, you be off with you, young Tarragon. I'm about to do my leaf balancing act. Shoo!
Leaf balancing? Don't see how anyone can balance leaves.
Shh, Basil. Bayleaf's concentrating. There bain't be many people as can do it, Sir Basil. I seen it done with turnips, mind, but leaves is difficult. I'm Bayleaf, I'm the gardener, I'll do my trick with ease. I only hope that none of you will cough or give a sneeze. Ah.
I thought I was going to sneeze myself then. Bless my soul, they're all stuck together. Very good trick, though. Must say, it had me fooled for a moment.
I do hope Bayleaf hasn't left any glue on the stage. It's Sage next. You know what a fuss he'll make if he gets any on his feathers.
Sage? What's Sage going to do?
It says the disappearing egg trick.
Oh, don't say he's going to be like old Jill with his blessed bones.
Don't think so, Basil. I think he's going to hide it.
Don't think much of that as a trick. Any fool can see where it is. Told you so. Stands to reason. It's under the first one still. Good gracious. I say, that's jolly good. Wonder where it's gone to.
I have a feeling Sage doesn't know either, Basil. I'm a rather fat feathery owl called Sage. I'm not at all happy, in fact in a rage. My wonderful trick with the eggs went all wrong, and I wish now I'd chosen to sing you a song. Oh dear, I think he's found his egg. Quick, Parsley, draw the curtains.
Bravo! Jolly good trick, that. Oh, more!
I don't suppose he wants to do it again, Basil. Can't say as I blame him.
Here comes Knapweed.
I am Constable Knapweed, across the stage I will advance, and right before your very eyes I'll do a lovely tap dance.
Good gracious, that's torn it.
While executing a tap dance on the stage, said stage collapsed in an highly dangerous manner. I shall have to take this stage down, and it may be used in evidence. And here, what are you doing, young Tarragon? I'm Tarragon the Dragon. I'd better make it clear that nothing's safe when I'm about. Things seem to disappear. That's destroying valuable evidence, that is. That's the second notebook today. Parsley, draw the curtains. I think we'd better go, Parsley. It's a good job he's last on the programme. There won't be much left soon. Perhaps it's as well. It'll save a lot of arguments. I'm sorry, Chives, it's too late. Much too late. The show's over. Unless you wouldn't like to finish it off with a song, would you, Parsley? Perhaps you're right. We had quite a lot today. A dance? A trick? A disappearing trick? Well, we'd better say goodbye then before you do it. Goodbye, Parsley. See you again soon.
Super Dooper Jezabel. Jezabel was perfect in every way. She was so perfect, she was called Super Dooper Jezabel. When other children came out of school, they were sometimes untidy. But Jezabel was always super duper neat. Jezabel always kept her room tidy. And she always put her things back in their boxes. And she cleaned up after the cat. When she went out to play with her friends, Jezabel always kept clean. She still liked to have 2 baths every day. Always wrote her thank you letters in neat writing without being reminded. And at school, she was best at everything. When she had spots, she always took her medicine and said, "Thank you." She could do up buttons and tie real bows on her lace-ups. Jezabel always ate up her meals. She always put her knife and fork together. And she never picked her nose.
If you do that, you'll get a long fat nose like a carrot. I've got a pretty nose.
Jezabel told other children not to do things.
Sucking your thumb makes your teeth stick out. I never do that, and I've got super teeth.
Super duper. When the Prime Minister heard about Jezabel, he sent a special medal for being good. And a special statue of Jezabel was put up in the park to remind everybody else to try to be perfect. She even went on television in a special show to talk about herself and her medal, and the cup she'd won for being polite, being spotless, being helpful, being best at sums, reading poetry, and writing. At school, Super Duper Jezabel wouldn't do anything wrong like the other noisy children who weren't perfect.
Come on, Jezabel! Wimpole has escaped from the zoo! You mustn't run, it's against the rules. I always walk nicely. If you run, your socks will come down.
You naughty boy. You've eaten the best girl in the world. I tasted better.
The sad story of Veronica, who played the violin. played the violin. At first, she wasn't very good. In fact, she was awful. Her first teacher left for China. Her second teacher, Mrs. Leone, was deaf. Mrs. Leone read sad stories and said, "Oh, very nice, dear. You just need to practice a lot." Veronica did practice a lot because she was determined. It was terrible for the neighbours. "She is determined," they moaned. The practice made Veronica play better, so she practiced all the time. "She is getting better," the neighbours wailed, "but she practices all the time." By the time her next birthday came, Veronica could play really beautifully. For her birthday, the whole family went on a picnic. After tea, Veronica played the violin. It was her first concert. The music she played was so beautiful that everyone cried into their fizzy drinks. Not long after that, Veronica's headmaster asked her why she never did any homework. "I have to practice the violin," said Veronica, and showed him.
"How beautifully sad," said the headmaster. "You must play at the school concert."
Veronica played. That was her second concert. At the concert was a famous music man. The next day, he chased Veronica from school, shouting that he would make her rich and famous.
You're the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Please, sign your name on the dotted line. You're fantastic. Please don't run away.
Veronica left school to become a star. Soon her records were being played everywhere. It seemed as if she could make the whole world cry. Veronica's most successful concert ended with a flood. In fact, there was a storm at the time, but Veronica and her music were given all the credit. Then one day Veronica said, "Enough. All I've ever done is play the violin. I want adventure. I'm off to the deepest, darkest jungle."
Please don't go. Oh, no, no, please, no.
Sobbed the music men.
Mamma mia. It's so precious.
Her mother wept too. "You'll be eaten alive!" she cried. Mothers always know best. "Don't worry. My violin can calm the fiercest beast," smiled Veronica. That afternoon, she went to the safari park to prove it. Because she was famous, the guards let her try. To their amazement, the lions just lay down and wept. Veronica had proved her point. And the following day, her parents drove her to the ship. They felt very sad as they waved her goodbye. Veronica thought the voyage wonderful. And at night she played beautifully sad music to the moon. The ship's pumps had to keep going all the time. When the ship landed, the men in uniform told Veronica,
"You can't go into the jungle alone. You'll have to go with these fearless hunters or you'll be eaten alive."
"Okay," said Veronica. For days, Veronica and the fearless hunters marched through the jungle. Not so very exciting, thought Veronica. She never once played her violin. Then one afternoon, as they crossed a clearing, a tiger, a leopard, and a lion appeared at the same time. At once, the fearless hunters ran away, leaving Veronica alone. Veronica wasn't at all worried. Calmly, she took out her violin and began to play. The animals stopped and listened, but they didn't cry. After days of not playing, the music sounded different. It was still beautiful, but now it was happy. The animals began to dance, and other animals arrived and joined in. Soon the clearing was full of dancing animals. Great, thought Veronica. Enough of all that crying. When I get back, the streets will be full of happy, dancing people. At that moment, from out of the jungle sprang an old lion. With one giant bite, he ate Veronica. She never even knew what had happened. "What have you done?" cried the animals. "That was the most beautiful music we've ever heard." The old lion put his paw behind his ear and said, "What?" All of which explains why the streets aren't full of happy, dancing people.
Sometimes in sunshine, sometimes in style, sometimes with no time or just with a smile. Up to her eyes in surprises and tricks, no disguising, she's a little handful of trouble, a bundle of fun. Glad you could make it, so glad you could come. Little miss, we're waiting for you. Ready, steady, how do you do?
Early one morning in summer, little Miss Magic awoke in the bedroom of Abracadabra Cottage, which was where she lived. She yawned a yawn and got out of bed. She went to the bathroom to clean her teeth.
Squeeze.
She said to the tube of toothpaste. And guess what? The tube of toothpaste jumped up and squeezed itself onto Little Miss Magic's toothbrush. Honestly, Little Miss Magic isn't called Little Miss Magic for nothing. When she tells something to do something, it does it. She went downstairs to the kitchen.
Boil.
She said to the kettle, and it did.
Toast.
She said to the toaster.
Spread.
She said to the knife, and the knife jumped up and spread some butter onto the toast.
Pour.
She said to the coffee pot, don't you wish you could make things do things like that? She was enjoying a second cup of coffee when there was a knock at the door.
Open.
She said to the door. And it did. There stood Mr. Happy, looking exactly the opposite.
Oh, you don't look your usual self. What's the matter?
Everything.
Come in and tell me all about it. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Yes, please.
Pour.
She said to the coffee pot.
Sugar?
2, please.
Lumps. Jump.
2 lumps jumped out of the sugar bowl and plopped into the cup.
Stir.
And a spoon stirred Mr. Happy's coffee.
No, what is it?
Well, it's Mr. Tickle. He's become absolutely impossible.
What do you mean?
Well, he used to go around tickling people every now and then. But now he's going around tickling people all the time. He sighed. Little Miss Magic looked at him.
It can't be that bad. Cheer up.
And of course he did.
Come on, we'll go and see Mr. Tickle together. Open.
She said to the door.
After you.
And off they set from Abracadabra Cottage. Mr. Tickle was in full cry. What a Monday morning he was having. He tickled Mr. Mean until he moaned. He tickled Mr. Greedy until he groaned. He tickled Little Miss Sunshine until she shivered. He tickled Mr. Quiet until he quivered. He tickled Little Miss Plump until she pleaded, and Little Miss Shy until she sobbed. Not to mention the postman, a policeman, the doctor, 3 dogs, 2 cats, and a worm. Ha ha! Cried Mr. Tickle as he spied Little Miss Magic and Mr. Happy. Anyone for tickles? And he rushed up to them, reaching out those extraordinarily long arms of his, with those particularly ticklish fingers on the ends of them. Little Miss Magic looked at Mr. Happy.
I see what you mean.
And winked. She pointed at Mr. Tickle's extraordinarily long right arm.
Shrink,
she said, and then she pointed to Mr. Tickle's extraordinarily long left arm.
Shrink.
And as you remember, when Little Miss Magic tells something to do something, it does it. Mr. Tickle's arms were suddenly not extraordinarily long. They were extraordinarily ordinary. That's not fair! You've spoiled my fun! Well, it might have been fun for you, remarked Mr. Happy, but it wasn't much fun for anybody else.
Come and see me tomorrow,
said Little Miss Magic to Mr. Tickle.
There,
she said to Mr. Happy.
Happy now?
And Mr. Happy smiled that famous smile of his. Oh, I'll say, come on, I'll buy you an ice cream. And off they went to find an ice cream van.
Ding dong,
said Miss Magic. 2 raspberry ripples, said Mr. Happy, laughing. On Tuesday, Mr. Tickle went round to Abracadabra Cottage. He knocked at the door.
Open.
And of course the door opened by itself.
Oh, hello, Mr. Tickle. Come in. I expect you'd like me to make your arms long again.
Oh, yes, please.
Very well.
Mr. Tickle's face lit up.
On one condition.
Oh. His face fell.
You're only allowed 1 tickle a day.
1 tickle a day? Well, that's not much.
Promise?
Mr. Tickle sighed. Oh, promise.
Grow.
And both Mr. Tickle's arms grew back to their original long length.
Now don't forget, 1 tickle a day, or else.
Oh. Mr. Tickle went out through the door.
Goodbye.
She said to him.
Shut.
She said, and of course, it did. Mr. Tickle stood outside Little Miss Magic's cottage. Oh, well, he thought, 1 tickle a day is better than no tickles a day. It was then that he saw one of the downstairs windows of Abracadabra Cottage was open. 1 tickle a day, he thought, and a small smile came to his face. 1 tickle a day. And on that Tuesday morning, as one of those extraordinarily long arms reached in through the open window of Abracadabra Cottage, the small smile on the face of Mr. Tickle turned into a giant grin. 1 tickle a day!
She's blunt.
He's fat, they're late, and not here. Tickle.
She's trouble.
Sunshine. We're happy, tiny, neat.
Huxley.
Happy. She's little Miss Sunshine.
I'm fuzzy and greedy.
I'm
Huxley.
It's magic.
I'm neat.
Muffet.
Dream.
Scatterbrain.
And the
Splendid
impossible
team.
All friends together. The little Miss and Mr. Men. All friends together. Round and round we go. Back to back and side by side and on with the show.
Little Miss Scatterbrain was just a little bit forgetful. You can say that again. Little Miss Scatterbrain was just a little bit forgetful. One day, while out for a walk, she met Mr. Funny. Hello, Miss Scatterbrain!
Hello, Mr. Bump.
Miss Scatterbrain carried on with the walk and met Mr. Slow. Hello, Miss Scatterbrain.
Hello, Mr. Rush.
Then she met Mr. Tickle. Hello, Miss Scatterbrain.
Hello, Mr. Strong.
And Miss Scatterbrain went on and met Mr. Happy. Hello, Miss Scatterbrain. Where are you off to? Miss Scatterbrain thought. And thought. I bet you've forgotten, haven't you?
Forgotten what?
There, I told you, he said.
Absolutely, totally, completely and so utterly forgetful, absent-minded little man at a scatterbrain.
There's a house not far from here, inside a wood that's very near, which runs along
Scatterbrain lived in the middle of a wood in Buttercup Cottage. Now, everybody knew it was called Buttercup Cottage, except the owner. She kept forgetting. One morning, the postman came along. Oh, good morning. Do you know where Buttercup Cottage is, miss?
Oh, yes. I think it's, down the lane on the left. Oh, no, it's on the right, and it's the one with the little roses round the door. No, just a minute. You go straight along to the end of the road, and then there's a left turn, but you don't go that way. You go to the right, and it's on your left. Yes.
Thank you very much, miss.
I know. To help me remember the name of my cottage, I think I'll put up a sign.
Dear, oh dear. Just look what the sign says. She isn't called Little Miss Scatterbrain for nothing, is she? One winter's morning, Little Miss Scatterbrain got up and went downstairs to make a breakfast.
La, la, la,
She shook some cornflakes out of a packet, but being such a scatterbrain, she forgot to put the bowl underneath.
Oh, silly me. Now, where'd I put the milk?
It took her 10 minutes to find it in the oven.
Oh, silly me.
After breakfast, Little Miss Scatterbrain set off to town shopping. First, she went into the bank. Good morning, Miss Scatterbrain. May I help you?
Good morning. Yes, I'd like some,
Yes? Some, money?
sausages.
Sausages. But this isn't a butcher's. This is a bank.
Oh, silly me. Of course it is. I was forgetting. I do sometimes, you know.
Really?
I'd like 2, please.
Pounds?
Pounds.
The bank manager passed 2 crisp pound notes over the counter. Little Miss Scatterbrain looked at them.
What are these?
2 pounds.
They don't look much like 2 pounds of sausages to me.
Eventually, the bank manager managed to explain, and off went Little Miss Scatterbrain to see the butcher. Really most extraordinary, Miss Scatterbrain. Every time she comes in, we have trouble. She never knows what she wants. She's got sausages, Rice Krispies. Little Miss Scatterbrain walked down the high street. She went into the butcher's shop. Good morning, madam, said Percy Pork, the butcher.
Good afternoon, Mr. Beef.
Pork?
No, sausages.
But my name isn't Sausages.
No, of course not. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, what sort?
What do you suggest?
Beef?
I thought you said your name was Pork.
Percy Pork sighed a deep sigh. Oh, just call me Percy. Eventually, after a little more confusion, Little Miss Scatterbrain managed to buy herself 2 pounds of sausages, and Percy Pork wrapped them up for her. Looks like snow, he said conversationally, looking out of his shop window.
Really?
Said Miss Scatterbrain, looking at the brown paper parcel.
Looks like sausages to me. Snow. What a funny man.
Goodbye, Miss Scatterbrain.
Goodbye, Mr. Lamb.
Miss Scatterbrain left the shop to catch a bus home. She stood behind Mr. Silly at the bus stop. Along came Mr. Nosy. He stood behind her in the queue and looked at the parcel she was holding. Hello. Looks like sausages. Miss Scatterbrain looked up at the sky.
Oh, looks more like snow to me.
She's blunt.
He's fat, bit late, and naughty, tickle,
She's trouble.
sunshine. We're helpful, tiny, neat,
I'm silly.
happy. She's little Miss Sunshine.
I'm fuzzy and greedy.
And the bottom
I'm Julie.
It's magic.
I'm me.
Bother.
Dream.
Scatterbrain.
Get the bat.
Splendid impossible team, all friends together, the little Miss and Mr. Men, all friends together, round and round we go, back to back and side by side and on with the show.
Cedric the tortoise was in his garden shed. He'd found an old book on how to fly. I do get a bit bored with just being an ordinary walkabout sort of tortoise. I wish I could be a flying tortoise, he said to himself. I wonder. I say, anyone home? Said a voice from the other side of the fence. Yes, it was Boris the lion. I say, you... Sorry, Boris, I'm very busy, said Cedric. Oh, I just called to see if you'd like to pop along to my birthday dinner and, I can't stop, I'm afraid. Important job. Got to finish before dark. Oh, well, do drop in when you've finished anyway. Cedric sawed and hammered the whole day long. Hammered and sawed, sawed and hammered, till at last... Make way for the world's first flying tortoise. Blast off in 2 minutes and counting. Cedric was too busy to notice Becky Bird up in the tree above his shed. To the launch pad. Becky Bird was having quite a laugh to herself. Tortoises can't fly. You can just mind your own business, Becky Bird, and stand clear of the launch pad while you're about it. I'm about to commence liftoff. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, half... I told you so, said Becky. Oh, dear, said Cedric. Look, if you really want to fly, get rid of those silly wings, get back on your launch pad, and away we go! So there I was, left with 100 jelly trifles, and Boris was in the middle of one of his very long after-dinner stories. The animals were getting rather bored when... What's that? It's a strange bird, said Ferdy Fox. It's a plane, said Mrs. Bite. No, it's not either. It's a flying tortoise, and he's just about to land in the... trifle. You managed to drop in, then, said Boris. I wanted to learn to fly. You'll have to learn to swim if you keep landing in trifles, said Ferdy. I think I've had enough adventure for today, thank you. I don't think Tortoises is built for flying. Never mind. At least you're here, and we're glad you've given up flying. Hey, Cedric gave a little smile. I know it was silly, but it was good fun, and I'm not sorry. So there. It was a bright, crisp autumn morning as Norman the Wolf and his cousin Mrs. Bite set off for their camping holiday in the forest. Come along now, Betty. Best foot forward. Feel that fresh, lovely country air. Betty Bite had never been very keen on walking, and after half an hour she began to wonder if a week in the forest with Cousin Norman was such a good idea. Come on, come on. No time to dawdle. We've a long way to go if we're going to get to Sunnybrook campsite by sundown. Which way do we go, then? Said Mrs. Bite, looking at the track ahead of them. This is the way, said Norman. Hang on a minute. That's the path that goes through Bully Bear's patch. You won't catch me going anywhere near there. That's my shortcut. Can't go the other way. Takes far too long. I don't care if it takes a fortnight. I'm not going to get eaten by that nasty bear. But when Norman explained it would be an extra half a day's walk if they didn't take the shortcut through Bully Bear's wood, Mrs. Bite agreed to go. And anyway, said Norman, you've got me to look after you. Yes. But they had been so busy arguing they hadn't noticed the two big ears listening to all they had said. I'd better just check the compass. Here's. I'm sure the path's just up here. I'll just check. Don't be long, said Mrs. Bite, who kept getting a strange feeling that they were not alone in the forest. But neither of them had actually seen the bear, so where was he? Mrs. Bite made sure there were no bears around, while Norman was putting up the tent. You can come out now. There's definitely no bears around here. Where's my cup of tea? Hey, don't forget your tea. Mrs. Bite decided the safest thing to do was to climb a tree. But someone had got there already. Go away, this is my tree. Go and find your own tree. Mrs. Bite was just trying to think how to get away from the bear when she remembered something she had once read. A bear will never touch someone if they lie down and pretend to be asleep. Norman, up in his tree, could not work out what was going on. From where he was, it looked as if Bully Bear was whispering in Mrs. Bite's ear. Hey, Betty, did Bully Bear say something to you? Yes, he did. What did he say? Well, said Mrs. Bite, if you really want to know, he gave me some very good advice. He said never go camping with a wolf who leaves you on your own at the first sign of danger and won't even let you share his tree. So I'm going home. But don't leave me up this tree. I don't know if I can get down. Oh. What? A brave wolf like you? Of course you can. Bye, Norman. It was Sunday evening. Boris the lion had eaten rather a lot. As usual, he had fallen asleep before he'd finished his meal. Boris always fell asleep on Sunday evenings. But Monty Mouse didn't. He knew it was just the time to pop in and stock up on Boris's leftovers.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. What have we here then?
Monty thought he'd better make a run for it, but Boris had him firmly in his paw.
You cheeky little pipsqueak! I'll teach you to pinch me pudding.
I won't do it again, said Monty.
No, you certainly won't. Not when I've finished with you. Ha! Tea time, eh? I've got plans for you, my little cock sparrow. Ha ha.
Help! Boris decided to consult the recipe book.
Mouse mousse. Yes, very tasty.
But not very filling, said Monty. I'm so tiny. It really wouldn't be worth the bother of cooking me. Oh, please don't make me into a mouse mousse. Let me go home, and I promise that one day I'll do you a real favour. Mouse's honour.
Mouse's honour? Ho, Mouse's honour. Do me a favour. Funniest thing I've ever heard. All right, you little tinker. You've given me the best laugh I've had all year. Go on, be off with you, and keep your nose clean.
So off went Monty, still promising that one day he would do a favour for the lion. A few weeks later, Boris was out for a walk in the forest. He was so busy enjoying the warm sunshine that he didn't notice anything odd about the pile of sticks in front of him until... It was too late. Boris was well and truly stuck in a hunter's trap. As time passed, poor Boris, unable to escape, fell fast asleep. Boris, as usual, snored so loudly that the sound of his snores could be heard for miles. Not far away, somebody thought he'd heard that noise before. That noise is definitely very familiar, said Monty to himself. I think I'll go and have a quick peep. There, to Monty's surprise, was Boris, fast asleep and tangled in the trap. Monty suddenly remembered the promise he'd made when Boris had caught him taking the food. Now was his chance to show that a tiny mouse really could help a lion.
What is it? What are you doing here, Monty Mouse?
Don't panic. I'll have you out in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, said Monty, quickly nibbling his way through the net. In no time at all, Boris was free from the trap.
Thank you, my little friend. You've saved my bacon.
Oh, that's all right. Any time, said Monty. And Boris promised he would never again laugh when a little creature offered him help.
After all, said Boris, we all need a little help sometime. Little help? Ha, yes. Ha, 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 ha. Very good.